The man just lightly touched his daughter's arm. The next second she screamed in pain. Only then did he notice there was a row of blisters on her arm. His wife told him all the burns were caused by his brother and sister-in-law. Because he had always ignored his daughter, they became more and more ruthless. It wasn't until now that the man realized just how vicious his brother's family really was. Turns out the man had been reborn. In his past life he was deceived by his brother and sister-in-law. He thought his wife and daughter had stolen from him. In a fit of rage, he kicked them out of the house himself, and they both died in a car accident. For the next 30 years, he worked as a laborer in his brother's feed factory, helping build his brother's business, until the factory finally went public. But on the day of the IPO, the man's leg was crushed by accident. He cried out in pain, but his brother ignored him coldly. When he lashed out at their cruelty, his sister-in-law just mocked him, saying it was his own stupidity to blame. She had only said a few words, and he fell for it completely. He finally realized it was all a misunderstanding. If only he had trusted his wife and daughter, they wouldn't have died such tragic deaths. Regret filled him to the core. But at that moment, bags of feed rained down on him again. He was crushed to death on the spot. Before dying, he swore to himself if he had another life, he would treat his wife and daughter well. The next second, he returned to 30 years ago. His brother was still ordering him to work. His eyes turned cold. He threw down the feed bag, grabbed his brother by the collar, and pushed him out without mercy. After shaking off that fake relative, he rushed home, unaware that at that moment, his wife and daughter were being abused. His daughter just tried to grab a bite of food, but her aunt poured hot water on her. His wife quickly shielded the child, only to be beaten unconscious. Then the vicious sister-in-law turned to the girl. Fortunately, the man arrived in time. The sister-in-law saw him, immediately faked a smile, and lied that the girl was fighting her son over meat, so she just taught her a lesson. Hearing this twisted excuse, the man exploded in anger. He flipped the table, and declared they were splitting from the family. He picked up his wife and daughter and left. Back home, his wife woke up, hearing they had broken ties with his brother's family. She was shocked. In her eyes, he had always obeyed his brother without question. The man also noticed, from long-term hunger, his wife was frail, and his daughter was covered in bruises. His heart ached terribly. He took them to the hospital right away. After examination, the doctor said they both needed for nutrition, and told him to pay $50 for admission. Looking at his weak wife and daughter, he swore silently. This life he would make sure they had food and warmth. To gather money quickly, he bought a large batch of pig liver, tied it with rocks and threw it in the village pond. His best friend was confused, but the man knew this method could catch crayfish, and at that time, no one knew the value of crayfish. If he acted early, he could get rich from it. Soon after, he carried a bucket of crayfish to the county town. Just then, his sister-in-law and mother found him, saying they were still family, and shouldn't split up. As long as his wife knelt and apologized, they'd pretend nothing happened. The man sneered. He had already guessed their real motive. In his past life, this exact day was when the factory's machine broke down. They just couldn't find anyone to fix it, so they came to butter him up. He ignored them completely, and walked straight into the restaurant. But his attitude made his sister-in-law resentful. Soon the man met the restaurant owner. After tasting his crayfish, everyone praised it. The owner offered 5 cents a pound.